whenever I question, you know, God, what are you up to? What you doing? I think back to his sovereignty in that situation, and I'm like, only he could have done that. And if he could do that, he can do anything. Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Melody and I make faith-based content here on YouTube. I post new videos every other Monday. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely be sure and subscribe. I would love to have you join the family. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about something that we all need to accept. And that is that God is going to send the right person at the right time. And when I say the right person, you might be thinking like, ooh, romantic partner, my husband. And I'm not even talking about that, because there are so many other needs in our lives outside of our desire for marriage that sometimes we can overlook if we're desiring marriage and partnership so much. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a testimony that I have with you of how God has sent the right person at the right time so many times in my life. And it was never a man, okay? It was never a man. It was a sister in Christ. It was a mentor. It was a source of encouragement. And for me, at least, I'm trying to think, like, did it ever show up in the form of a man? No, just not my experience. I mean, shout out to my husband, but no. And so I hope that this can encourage you to start looking for the right person that God might be putting right in front of your face, but you might be missing because you might be so focused on a relationship or romantic partner that you're missing the blessing of sisterhood and friendship right in front of your face. And then secondly, I hope this can encourage you to be the right person, because the way that I've been encouraged just this past week is why it's like fresh on my heart to share this with you. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into testimony time. Per usual, you're gonna have an opportunity at the end to share your testimony. You know I love, you know, a little back and forth in my videos. Now, before we hop into it, I wanna go ahead and pause here and thank the sponsor of today's video, Hillsdale College. You guys already know this girl right here is the biggest Hillsdale College fan, because they offer over 40 online free courses that are beautifully shot, completely self-paced, and they have courses on topics like the book of Genesis, the book of Exodus, C.S. Lewis on Christianity, the David story, which deep dives into David's life from shepherd boy all the way through king. And that is the course that I'm currently taking. I love it so much that I'm taking it for a second time. Going back over it a second time, I feel like things that I looked over the first time, I am like, oh my gosh, how did I miss that? This is amazing. So if you want to take this course alongside me, I'm going to have a link down in the description box, or you can go to hillsdale.edu/melody. And again, that's hillsdale.edu/melody. You can register for free today and start taking this course alongside me. What I love is as I learn more about these books of the Bible and these people that truly existed in the Bible, it helps me understand what I'm reading in my quiet time and in my study time that much more. And so it's impactful, not just as in taking knowledge, but even with the application of what I'm reading. I truly cannot recommend these courses enough. So again, check that link down in the description box, or go to hillsdale.edu/melody. Thank you so much to Hillsdale College for partnering with me on this portion of today's video. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and pray and hop on in. So for all of this to make sense, as I always say, we kind of gotta travel back in time. And so I'm gonna be sharing with you 3 different instances of the Lord sending the right person at the right time. And sometimes how people will come in for a season, leave for a season, but come back in another season. And that is just the kindness of the Lord. And I feel like his sovereignty at play, and something that I have just learned to love and appreciate so much. So first, let's go back to 2020. 2021, fall 2021. I am seven months pregnant. Okay, she's large and in charge. I'm about to start my maternity leave. At my corporate job at this point, I'm doing YouTube as well as my full-time corporate finance job. And I am getting close to the point where it's time for me to go on maternity leave, which I'm so excited about. And all that's on my brain is figuring out how I can start taking my YouTube channel full time and making enough money from it so that I don't have to return to my corporate job after maternity leave, because I was just struggling with the idea of sending my baby, who wasn't even a baby, you know, she wasn't even born yet, but I was just truly struggling with the idea of sending my baby to daycare or hiring a nanny to watch her while I'm working. So that's just where my brain is. I'm seeking the Lord on, and I'm talking to my husband about it, and I'm realizing that God is giving me this idea for a membership club, of basically this hub, online, virtual, of being able to gather women and point their hearts in the direction of the Lord, to kind of lead them and guide them, and have these different offerings and everything like that, Bible studies, Q&As, the whole shebang. And I'm realizing to actually make this thing, this like God dream, a reality, I'm going to need help. There's no way that I'm going to be able to do this by myself, especially if I am about to become a new mom and have a baby in like 2 months. So in a video, and it wasn't a video that performed well, meaning like not a lot of people saw this video, and it wasn't in the title of the video, I didn't mention it anywhere else, I just talked at a certain point in this video, so you literally had to just be watching the whole thing through and paying attention. And I mentioned towards the end of the video, and I'll insert a clip after this, that I'm just looking for a personal assistant, someone that's local to Atlanta, able to help me on a part-time basis, and I don't really give any other specifics than that. And I remember doing that very like casually, like I really didn't think anything was gonna come from it, and I figured, you know, if anything does come from it, hey, then it must be meant to be. And so I'll insert that clip here.
I'm also going to be finally looking for help. I want to hire a local personal assistant here in Atlanta. So if you guys are interested, definitely reach out to me in my email address below. That would be awesome. I'm going to be talking about this in the newsletter as well as on Instagram as well. Well, I just said as well twice. Pregnancy brain.
Flashback to pregnant Mel. So yeah, I said that in a video, and then lo and behold, I get 3 emails. And so I schedule Zoom calls with each of these girls. But what stands out to me is that out of these 3 emails that I get, one of them, she just knocked it out of the park. Like, she gave so much information about herself, her past history as an executive assistant. And this was in a corporate setting. So like what I would be asking her to do and the things that I was needing was way lower on like the formality totem pole. But she just had so much experience. She treated it with so much care and intentionality, which is how much information she sent over about herself. And so it just blew me out of the park. It literally just blew me out of the park. So I meet with one of the girls, and I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Okay, this might be able to work. And then I meet with the next girl, and this is a girl with a very impressive resume, cover letter, whole shebang. So I meet with her, and we instantly connect. And we're not even connecting on the work stuff. We're connecting on just how we think and approach life, the dynamics that we have with our siblings, some of the ways in which we think, where we're connecting on black and white thinking and realizing like, man, we got to do better. Some of the pressures that we felt growing up, being the oldest daughter. And it just was such a God thing. And what was beautiful about this is I was looking for someone local to the city of Atlanta. And if anyone knows the city of Atlanta, it's massive. So you can say you live in Atlanta, but really you live in Lawrenceville or McDonough, or maybe you live in Ellenwood. Like, Atlanta just has all these pockets, and all of them are very, very far from each other. And I specifically was looking for someone that would be able to come over, able to physically help me, maybe run errands or help me with business things. And as only God could have planned it. She lives 1 exit away from me. In Atlanta terms, that's literally unheard of. So she's less than 15 minutes away from me, no traffic. Even if she didn't have to get on the highway, she could get here on the back roads, less than 15 minutes. She also was in a season where she had just recently moved from San Francisco across the country to Atlanta, more or less by herself. She was struggling, adjusting, going through just like the ups and downs of making this cross-country move by herself. And she told me so many times that she would watch my content and she would just think, gosh, I just need a friend like that in my life. I just need someone like that in my life. And here I am with my list of needs, like, man, I just really need someone. I need someone to help me. And we were the right people for each other. And so much more than just the work relationship has blossomed out of this. Like, we are truly such close friends. She has stayed at my home so many times. She has actually moved back to San Francisco, and I visited her this year for my birthday. She's come and visited here multiple times after she's moved. To my daughter, she is Auntie Monty. Like, she's literally known my daughter her whole entire life. And it is just, again, such a testament and a testimony to the Lord sending the right person at the right time. Because once we started working together, December of 2021, by May of 2022, my daughter is 5 months old. We launched my membership club and it was a huge success. We ran my membership club together, her helping on the back end, moderating calls, mitigating customer payment issues, the whole shebang. We ran, I don't know why I keep saying shebang as well. I don't even say that word in real life all the time. The whole thing together, and she's basically like my right-hand woman. That's what I call her on all my calls. She also to this day helps me run my Bible study calls, which I do every month now. Like if you've ever joined them, then you have met Amani. And that's just the Lord. That is the Lord meeting both of our needs. And as much as I feel like my focus in that season was looking for business help, I also needed a friend. Like my pregnancy was very challenging. It's pandemic season. I'm fresh to Atlanta. I'm not really able to go out and meet people like that. And we both were the friend that each other needed. And that is just the Lord in and of itself. And so that's number one, okay? I realize that this probably is gonna be slightly long. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly share number two. Now this is one that I have shared before if you've watched my testimony video, but when I think back to it, I'm just like, only God could have done that. And so long story short, graduate college 2014, moved to South Korea 2015. I'm knee deep in all things new age at this point in my life. I have big questions, okay? Like what happens to people, like big questions that are keeping me from God and have drawn me more into the new age realm of life. And so one of the big questions I had was like, what happens to people that live in the middle of nowhere and no one ever comes to tell them the gospel? Like when they die, are they really just going to go to hell? And that's a question I've had since I was, I don't know, maybe like 10. And I just never had anyone throughout all the time that I was in the church up until I was 16 to ask that question to, or no one that really answered it in a way that like made sense to me. And so fast forward, I moved to South Korea. I get placed in this small city called Yeongju, South Korea, with two other English-speaking girls that are a part of the Korean program through their government for bringing over English speakers to towns in Korea to be English teachers, to encourage the students to practice their English. So it's me, a girl named Irene, and a girl named Erica. Now these are I'm part of that. These are two of my favorite people to this day on God's green earth, okay? We quickly just became a trio. We did everything together for 2 years. We all stayed there in Korea for 2 years. Now, where this gets interesting is when I first moved to Korea, I am dating someone. We break up a month later and I'm devastated, okay? Literally, I thought we were gonna stay together long distance for 2 years. We made it a month. LOL, I was devastated. And so during this time, Irene, my new friend, she just so happens to be a missionary, or she was a missionary before she moved to Korea to teach English. So she's kind of noticing I'm going through a hard time. She had already found a local church where there weren't very many that had English services, but she found one and she invited me to church one day with her. And so because I'm going through this heartbreak, I'm open to going to church, which I hadn't been to church in years. We end up going to eat after church, and it's over our shabu shabu lunch, which is basically like the Korean version of hot pot, that I ask her my big existential questions about the Lord. And here she is, a new friend and someone that has literally been trained to answer questions like this and to lead people into the faith with her past and with her experience being a missionary. Like she's gone out into the missions fields in New Zealand and the Philippines. Like she's literally trained for this. And so I'm asking her one existential question after the other, and it's at that lunch over shabu shabu that she tells me something that literally blows my mind and changes my life forever. She tells me that God just wants a relationship with me. And that's something that throughout all my time I spent in kids ministry, no one ever said that. No one ever phrased what it looks like to do life with God and what God is seeking as a relationship. It was always something I thought, you know, God just wants you to be perfect and you got to do the right thing. And if you don't do the right thing, you're going to go to hell. And so it was a very scary kind of setup or view that I had of the Lord. And when she shared that with me, it just broke down all the walls that I had against God in my heart. And she didn't even know what she was saying. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't even know the impact of her words, but it changed my life. And shortly after that dinner with her, I kept attending church. We started a Bible study, and there was a few other Christians that were the other foreign teachers in that city. We started a Bible study. I gave my life to Christ. I started reading my Bible, and I haven't turned back since. My yes to the Lord, my serious yes to the Lord that happened in 2015 is because of Irene. And what's beautiful about that is when I look back, only the Lord, because I had no say over what city I was going to be placed in this program that was run through the Korean government. All you could do was sign up, give them your preferences, and outside of that, you were, it was up to them completely. So it is just such a God thing that I go to Korea and I'm placed in this city and become friends with someone who's an ex-missionary, who's trained to literally answer all these existential crisis questions that I have about the Lord, who points my heart to the Lord and changes my life forever. When I think back to it, and whenever I question, God, what are you up to? What you doing? I think back to his sovereignty in that situation, and I'm like, only he could have done that. And if he could do that, he can do anything. So I think we'll go ahead and stop here because the video is getting a little bit long, and I know I said I was going to share 3. So if you want to hear the 3rd story of God sending the right person at the right time, let me know in the comments and I will definitely get that filmed and up for you guys. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you once again to Hillsdale College for partnering with me on today's video. And of course, it is now your turn. So in the comments down below, I would love to know, who is one person in your life that God sent this person as the right person at the right time? And maybe also you don't have someone like this, but maybe you were the right person for someone. So let us know which way it went for you down in the comments, and definitely take a second and scroll on through after you leave yours. I feel like it's just gonna be encouraging to see God's sovereignty at work in all of our lives individually. So definitely be sure, drop a comment and then scroll on through. As always, I love you guys, and I will catch you in my next video. Peace.